terms of the Quran, how can you come to the conclusion that the Quran is divine and that is, the final word of God, not the Bible, not the other books?
This again, you would have to do a comparative reading of all these books. When you do a comparative reading, the Bible was compiled over hundreds of years by numerous authors. The Bible has over 60 authors, 60 different authors. With the Quran was memorized and compiled within a period of 23 years. So a non-Muslim would claim that the Prophet, peace be upon him, is the author of the Quran. Therefore, according to them, the Quran has only one author. So this is the first distinction between both books. One book having been compiled over hundreds of years, one having been written in 20 years and memorized in 20 years. Then we look at the content of the works. What does each book contain? So many Westerners are under the impression that the Quran is a copy and paste from the Bible. But when you do a comparison of the two, you will realize they are totally distinct. For instance, the story of Jesus and Mary in the Quran, a comparison of that story with the Bible. In the Bible, the first miracle Jesus performs is at the age of 33, when he goes to a wedding and he changes water into wine. This is the first miracle ascribed to Jesus in the Bible. In the Quran, the first miracle of Jesus is after birth, when he speaks from the cradle. So, just this one distinction of the story of Jesus will show that the Quran is not a copy from the Bible. So the Quran was written in a period of 20 years, 23 years, when the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, was a person who had not learned how to read and write from any human being. No one had ever taught him how to read and write. And the Quran states this. And the people of Mecca did not contradict this. They never said that he in fact did learn how to read and write. They all admitted he did not learn how to read and write from another human being. So a man who did not learn how to read and write from any other human being was able to recite a book which could not be counted, meaning there was a challenge. What was the challenge? The people of literature in the Arabian community at that time were given a challenge to counter the Quran, and they were unable to live up to the challenge for 20 years, 23 years. So they took up arms against him, and these were the most eloquent people of that time. So like this, when you start studying the Quran, you will realize that the Quran is unlike any other book.